Cork North West and Labour candidate for the next general election. Delegates, we gather here today in the midst of an economic storm, a storm that has affected every home in this country. I come from a rural constituency in Cork North West. I have seen its effects. In towns like Macroom, Ballincollig, Mill Street and villages like Newmarket, Crewstown, in every one of those areas I know of young families who are struggling with mortgages. Some have lost their jobs and are faced with the stark reality of immigration. Delegates, the ESRI came out with a statistic last week that thousands of people have been forced to immigrate in the last year. It is very easy to come up with these stats, but delegates, thousands of families have been torn apart. Behind many of them, harrowing stories where young people went to college, studied for 4 or 5 years, only to find no jobs when they finished. I know of one case where a girl applied to do nursing in her CAO forum. She studied hard to get the course. Her father and mother were delighted when she got her results, keen in the knowledge that if she got enough points, she would be able to do nursing, a dream she had for many years. But it would also provide her with an opportunity to secure a job in one of our local hospitals. When that girl qualified, she was one of a class of 60. Delegates, as I speak to you here today, 50 of those who qualified have had to immigrate. This is the real story behind the stats that the ESRI came out with last week. The words of Brian Linehan last December of turning the corner ring very hollow for the 50 nurses who have had to immigrate this year, and indeed for their broken-hearted families. The drain of young people from many towns and villages in the constituency, in places like Crewstown and the more rural areas of Ovens, it will sound the death knell for many towns and villages in this country. This is only one of many stories that I have heard in the past 12 months. I remember the 80s, and I never thought we would go back to it.
Please conclude.
But as we look at the drain of young people, well-educated young people, we have to ask why. We deserve better. That young nurse who was forced to immigrate deserves better. This country needs change, and this country needs Labour Party in government. We have solutions to the jobs crisis. Instead of pumping billions into zombie banks, we want to set up a substantial jobs fund. This will create many jobs for the young people who are now facing immigration in this country. This country does not need an apology from Brian Linehan. That apology is far too late. What country needs is strong Labour government. It needs Gilmore as Taoiseach. It needs a Labour TD in Cork North West. Eamon, I look forward to joining that team after the next general election, and I urge delegates to vote for the motion.